In this video, I'm doing a position analysis of a distraction play. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below and what you'd like to see in future videos so I can work on that. My book, Backgammon, Backgammon Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is in the description. So this is the second position analysis of a distraction play, and we're going to see exactly what a distraction play is. Basically, it's something that distracts your opponent to prevent her or him from doing something that would otherwise be strong. So this is the position. It's a money game. You're playing the black checkers at the bottom. The opponent is the white checkers at the top. You have a black checker on the bar, and you have a 5-1 to play. And you can see you're behind in the race by 15 pips before the play. So pause the video. We'll take a moment, think about how you would play, and then we'll analyze it in a moment. Okay, now we'll look at the analysis. It turns out the correct play is bar 24, 23 to 18. So coming in on the 24 point, like so, and then moving from 23 to 18, and that results in this position. It seems a little awkward because you do have two checkers back stuck on the 24 point, and they're not split. And then you leave this checker here on the 18 point, susceptible to attack with 6s, 4s, and 1s. The other play that looks a little bit more natural is to come in on the 20 with bar 20 and 23, 22, and that results in this position. This is nice because all of your checkers are split and you have good chances of making an advanced anchor. However, it is not the top play. So let's take a look at why. We'll look at the dice distribution. So this is the dice distribution feature. On the top two panels show how all of white's rolls play. So, for example, in the one on the upper left, this is after the top play, and on the upper right, this is after the second play. So in the first cell here, this is the equity after a double one, then a 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, etc. for all 36 possibilities, and there's an average here on the right. And this is the same thing for the second play of splitting the checkers. And then the one on the lower left is a difference of these two values. So, for example, the first cell is the difference of the first cell on the upper left and the first cell on the upper right. And when it's red, that means it's in favor of the second play on the upper right, but whereas it's in green, it's in favor of the one on the upper left. So you can see the big swings occur with double 3, double 5, 3-1 are the big ones, and that's how it is here. You can see double 3 is the highest, and actually double 5 is slightly higher, the highest at 0.528. But in the histogram on the lower right, it turns out that 3-1 is higher in the bar graph. The reason for that is because 3-1 occurs twice, so this one and this one. And when you sum them together, that's what you get for this bar graph. So these are the swing rolls. So let's take a look at exactly how all of these things play. So after the top play of splitting to the bar point, if the opponent rolls a 3-1, they make the 5 point, but after the second play, it's the 5 point on head. And this is how all of them play. And then we're going to look at all these top swing rolls, the rolls that are big differences in equity between the top play and the second play. So this is what happens when you make the top play of splitting to the bar point, and then white rolls a 3-1. The correct play is to make the 5 point, resulting in this position. So white is a slight favorite here, 0.133. Now, if you make the other play and white rolls a 3-1, goes like this, now white also makes the 5-point, but now you have a checker on the bar. So now white's equity is much higher at 0.472. So that's a big difference. The next swing roll is 6-3. So with the 6-3, after you split here, the correct play is to make the 5-point like this, resulting in this position. On the other hand, if you had made this other split and then white rolls a 6-3, does the same thing, but now your checker is on the bar. So you want to be careful about leaving options where your opponent can do multiple good things, such as make an innerboard point and put you on the bar. Here's another example. After the correct play with a 6-1, the opponent makes the bar point on head, and you have a checker on the bar against a 1-point board with this awkward 6-1 formation. On the other hand, if you're over here, what happens is the correct play is to make the 5-point on the head. So now you're on the bar with against a 2-point board, and you don't have an anchor, whereas here, notice you do have an anchor against a 1-point board, but now after this, you don't have an anchor. You're up against a 2-point board, and the opponent unstacked the 6-point. So here, white was able to do actually 3 good things. Make an innerboard point, point on head, and unstack the heavy 6-point. And also the fourth thing is that it's an innerboard point rather than an outerboard point. So when you're on the bar against a 2-point board, there are 4 numbers that fail to enter, 4 dancing numbers, whereas if you're on the bar against a 1-point board, there's only 1 number that dances. So that's a big difference. Now let's look at what happens with double 5. After the correct play, double 5 is played like this. So bringing 15 to 10 and then making the 3-point, resulting in this position. Now you're shooting at 2 blots, okay? On the other hand, if you had made this play, now the double 5 is a super joker. It goes like this, making 2 points on head. Now you have 2 checkers on the bar against a 3-point board. White is winning a ton of gammons, almost 30% gammons. Double 3 is the next one. So after double 3, after the correct play, white makes the bar point on your head, resulting in this position. Now you have 1 checker on the bar against a 1-point board, and you have an anchor. On the other hand, if you had done the other play with a double 3, white does this. Now you have 2 checkers on the bar against a stronger 3-point board, and 1 back here. Now you're in really big trouble, losing a lot of gammons and losing a lot of games. The next one is 2-1. So after 2-1, after the top play, the correct play is to play 13-11 and hitting with 8 to 7, resulting in this position. Now you have 1 checker on the bar, you have an anchor against a 1-point board, and you have good 6s from the bar. That means your 6s are diversified. So when you have a checker on the bar, you must come in first. And now you cannot come in with a 6. Therefore, if you come in with any other number and the other half of your roll is a 6, it's actually good because then you're able to hit back. And hitting back on the 18-point is very strong because it sets the opponent back very far in the race, 18 pips. And secondly, it slots that point so that you can subsequently possibly make the anchor there, which would be a strong anchor. On the other hand, if you had made this split, now white can hit twice like this, resulting in this position. This puts 2 checkers on the bar, unstacks the heavy 5-point. You are only against a 1-point board, but you have 2 checkers on the bar and you don't have an anchor. So if you roll things like 6-5, 6-4, 6-2, white's going to have the big initiative to try to attack. The other one, the next one is 3-2. So after 3-2, you just have to play safe. White has to play safe, bringing one up with 24 to 21 and covering the 11-point with 13-11, resulting in this position. On the other hand, if you had made the other play, again, the 3-2 hits twice. That's really good. So that's another thing you need to really be careful about when you're making these plays. How many double hits will there be? So here now, you have 2 checkers on the bar, and the same kind of thing. If you come in with a 6-5, 6-4, or 6-2, then white's going to have the initiative. Now 5-3. After the top play with the 5-3, it hits with 15-7, resulting in this position. Now you have one checker on the bar against the 1-point board. White hasn't unstacked the 6-point. You do have an anchor here on the 24-point, and you have good sixes from the bar. On the other hand, if you made this play, White is able to point on head. Now you're up against a 2-point board, and White has unstacked. So you always want to be careful when the opponent's able to hit and make an interboard point. That's always stronger than hitting and not making an interboard point, because that strengthens the board, that increases the likelihood that you're going to dance by fourfold, from 1 dancing number to 4. So in summary, a distraction play is a play like this that we looked at in this position. It distracts the opponent and it prevents her from doing something strong. There can be many things that are strong. For example, making an inner board point on head. That means hitting and making a point in their inner board. The second is blitzing, such as with the double 5s and double 3s, which makes 2 points on head. And also the third thing is hitting twice. Also, if the opponent's able to make an inner board point, it's usually stronger than making an outer board point, because it strengthens the home board, increasing the likelihood that you will dance either immediately or later. So when you're considering a distraction play, you need to look at the resulting position after your 2 candidate plays. Then you need to examine how all of the opponent's roles play after each candidate. You want to avoid plays that give the opponent very strong roles, such as making an interboard point on head, blitzing, or hitting twice. So those were the things that we saw in this position. So that was the position analysis of a distraction play. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. Please let me know what you think in the comments below and what you'd like to see in future videos so I can work on that. Again, my book, Backgammon, Backgame Strategies, is available. There's a link in the description to where you can get it. And if you're interested in lessons, please contact me via email. My email address is in the description. I look forward to seeing you in future videos. And until then, keep rolling your dice.